What is up, YouTube boxing family? It is K right here. I'm back at it with another good video for you guys today. Yeah, let's get right into it, man. We're gonna be talking about Hector Garcia. Recent comments against Gervonta Tank Davis, of him saying, once I get past Gervonta Tank Davis, I will be going after, Ryan Garcia next. And yeah, you know what? I might as well give like my whole initial thoughts on it. I think Hector Garcia, he's well in his rights to actually believe in that. The problem that I have is that this is not a fight where Hector could really think he's going to be on the horizon of beating Tank. I think for fights like this, it's always best to just be, it's always best to be very righteous to believe that you're going to win. But the problem is that when you think about it in the sport of boxing, people have certain instances to believe that, if they can win, then, you're supposed to be confident in your, abilities. But the problem is like, honestly, think about it with like a cybersecurity. All the best, cybersecurity coders or people that do good in the industry, they don't need to say that, they're the best in their industry to do what they need to do. But I think when you look at any, industry of how good somebody is at their job, they don't need to be cocky about it because they already have, that mindset coming in to say that this is like a sacrifice that you put into your life to be at that level. And for anybody that's on the come up, they're just basically learning from, all the past, really good people that were in that industry for quite a long time that, can teach new things, to the next generation coming up. So with Hector's mindset, I mean, it's a really good mindset to have because he will go down in history fighting a guy like Tank for a very good, memorable fight, which I hope it does. But I think with this type of level, this is a very, very career-defining fight, and this is how I would view as like a key defining matchup. And to me, how I view that, as a key defining matchup is that, a key defining matchup in my own, definitive viewpoint is that you come into a big fight in your career, and therefore, this is like a high level rivalry style or just legacy style matchup that determines where you are at in terms of you being, the absolute best. Doesn't mean that, you cannot beat a guy like Gervonta Tank Davis and therefore Hector, he's biting off more than he can chew. I would say no. I mean, honestly, Hector, he's doing a very good job moving his career the way he wants to. And, it's very difficult to do stuff like this where you don't know if your career is going to be the same because, look at all the other all-time great boxers that have challenged against the almighty best, like Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe. They're lucky to have fought each other 3 times, but, Evander could have easily ended, Riddick Bowe's career, and, Riddick Bowe could have ended, Evander Holyfield's, a career. So I think for a fight of this magnitude, I think Hector should have been given a lot more, obviously, if Hector wasn't held back in his career where he had to waste 10 years of his life in the Dominican military, in which that's another big reason why Hector's career was never at the level that people wanted it to be or people expected it to be. But it's a blessing, it's a blessing in disguise to show that no matter how old you are in boxing, anything is possible for you to become the best in what you do, i.e., any other sport, in the world. But looking at Hector's box rec, it is shown here that he has been cut short off of his career for a very, very long time. He started pro in 2016, but leading up to that point, he was a very active fighter. It's not like his career was really ever cut short. It's just that he had, the Olympics that he went through, which that was like back in the past. But Hector, he wasn't able to get his career going where, he wasn't able to be put at that level in his career. So, everything that he went through, he obviously had to, put himself on the fast track in his career. And honestly, it worked out very well because Hector did a very good job. He came into the pros in 2016 on December in the Dominican Republic, and ever since then, he's been doing a very good job, just slowly stepping up the competition. His notable victories in the division at 130 at least is Roger Gutierrez, Chris Colbert, and Isaac Avalar. All three of those guys are combined good high-level fighters, or great, up-and-coming fighters. And it's good. I think Hector, if his career wasn't cut short of him coming into the pros so late, because he came in at 2016 and he's 31, so minus that, hold on, give me 1 second. I'll do the math here in my calculator. 2022 minus from 2016, that's 6 years, and he came into the pro at 25. So that's crazy because he served 10 years in the Dominican military. That's what he said. So I mean, that means from age 15 leading into 25, that's really when his career was on the fast track. And leading up to this point, Hector's been putting in that work. So congratulations to Hector, man. That's a very difficult task to do, especially you coming into the B side in almost every single fight. Because out of Hector's last three, opponents, minus Gervonta Davis, he's had fights where he was supposed to lose. So, I mean, out of all three of these fights, for him to go to the decision with all three of these, tough opponents, Roger Gutierrez, Chris Colbert, and Isaac Avalar, I have to say that's a very, very good, mindset to have, to really think that you are the, absolute best. And, Hector, we're gonna, find out and see if he's really, about this life to actually dominate boxing. But if he does beat Tank, I think a lot of great things will happen for him. Gervonta Davis, in my honest opinion, he's definitely, in a very weird state as far as him trying to keep himself notable in boxing, because this is a fight that no one asks for, but it is a very, very good fight because Hector, he's going to promote a lot out of this fight, and he's going to bring a lot of fans to the venue at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. So everybody from Baltimore, a lot of Dominicans from what the northeastern states, including New York and New York City and all that. They're definitely gonna show out. So I think Tank, he's definitely gonna have a masterclass performance. But this is not gonna be an easy fight, hands down. Hector Garcia even told Tank in a recent, I think, interview or basically whatever, saying that he's not a pushover. He's ready to come in here and take over the show, and he's going to beat Tank, and he's gonna, take over, the pedestal of him being, the best that he could be. So I like that out of Hector. Obviously, I paraphrase that, but Hector, he means business. He really wants to win, and there's something spiritually in him. Well, I would say warrior spirit wise, he has such a killer mindset that not many fighters really have, and it's very hard for you to say that when you say that to a guy like Gervonta Tank Davis, because with Tank, he's a very scary individual. Just because he's 5'5" with a 67.5-inch arm reach, does not mean Gervonta Davis is coming to just throw little shots at you. He really has destructive power, and his power is not only that, it's power with the boxing. He has extremely high ring IQ. He has amazing footwork when he uses it properly. Gervonta's like reads as a fighter when he comes into a shot, it's very educated. Like he really knows how to really flow a fighter's motion and knows how to like see those right shots. And it's a very similar to Deontay Wilder, but the only difference is that Tank is more athletically gifted than Wilder. And Wilder, he really is like one of those like long shot leveled fighters where all it takes is one, but Wilder has destructive power to the point where once he hits you, it's game over. Like he destroys your life. He takes everything that you're good at and it just basically disintegrates. So that's something that Wilder has. He has that equalizer where the power, everybody hypes that power, or everybody disrespects Wilder's power to say he's only good for just power punching, but that's not true. Like Wilder is a bona fide boxer puncher. He may not have it because he doesn't use his boxing skills, but whenever he uses his jab with that power, it's like it's very hard to get away from a shot from Wilder, because you may not think those punches are hurting you, but no, like he's really hurting you. Like his power is very, very destructive, to the point where he's able to destroy your physical, capacity of you taking those shots, because you don't know how much more you could take until you actually feel the right shot where, it puts you down for good. So, in regards to Tank Davis, Gervonta's in that same category, but that'll be very, interesting to see if Hector can actually take Tank's power, because if he can take Tank's power, then what will end up happening is that Tank, he will definitely be he'll definitely be in a more comfortable position where if he's able to hurt Hector and destroy him, it's gonna be very, very interesting, I can't wait. But yeah, hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna say, what's up to Amma Williams. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. So yeah, I think how this fight will really go down is who wants it more with being educated, and I think how the test will be determined on both sides is mainly based off of who's able to strategize, the right amount of punches to be successful. And to better explain that, like if you look at the fights where Tank had to box, like with Jose Pedraza, he definitely came in the box, but once he didn't respect his power, he took some to give some, and that fight really showed his versatility as a fighter to be successful. But with Hector Garcia versus Chris Colbert, obviously Chris Colbert, actually yeah, let me take that out of the picture. If you take a look at Isaac Avilar, that could be a better example. I believe he's a southpaw like Hector and like myself, but a fight with Avilar that Hector had a little bit of shaky moments in there, I think that would be the worst version to bring to a Tank fight. But the best version of Hector had to been the Roger Gutierrez fight, where he did a very, very good job in defeating Gutierrez, but Gutierrez, he definitely had that one-shot knockout power, well, I wouldn't even say one-shot knockout power. He had the power to change a fight, but he wasn't able to come in with the educated punches to change, the fight, between, him and Hector. But, but the case in point is that Hector, he has the ability to defeat Tank if it goes to the cards, but I don't see it happening because I think Tank is going to do anything in his power to make the fight competitive, where he's going to bank on those rounds late game, and I think he will get the decision win, but it's not going to be easy. I don't see it to be easy. Nothing is easy between anyone fighting Tank. I think Tank is literally one of the most deadliest southpaws next to Errol Spence, when it comes to versatility and making sure people don't get into their rhythm. That's what makes Gervonta a very bona fide destructive fighter. But yeah, we'll find out, man. Like, I mean, I think, like, when it comes down to it, Gervonta has more pressure on, if he could actually still outbox a pure boxer puncher. I don't think Hector is like the biggest puncher out of all punchers, but he definitely has, volume punching power. So I will definitely put him in the semi, puncher category. If he was a puncher just like Tank, then definitely could, like, I could definitely potentially favor Hector beating Tank if he was able to hurt him and he was able to keep Tank off of him. Where Tank, he was actually more vulnerable against a guy that has just as much power as him. But power isn't everything. That's really why, boxing is so, interesting, because, your power will be there late game if you're dead tired, but that does not mean the power is there to change a fight unless you're able to land the proper punch to take somebody out. Like, I mean, it's definitely concurrent in a female boxing and obviously the heavyweight division. But I think obviously that the difference is that women go 2 minutes, so not every woman is in pure 100% shape to be like 100% conditioned in what they do. So like it all really depends on like how they really come about in their fights. But for men's boxing, like, it's a whole different level. Like, men set up the right shot to get the knockout punch, versus with women, they're throwing punches and bunches to find a good shot because they're trying to score. So, like, they're not utilizing any technical, ability to be, bona fide, pure boxer, mover, like, in their own right. But I mean, that's a whole nother discussion, and that's why, like, women's boxing definitely needs to upgrade very fast to the 3-minute fights and just fight the same rounds as men. But yeah, moving forward with this fight, man, I have Hector barely beating Tank to a split decision. But if he's able to hurt and knock out Hector, or win decisively on the cards, then that's my biggest favor to Tank. I think Tank is going to be able to give Hector a lot of problems. I think Tank's power is going to catch up to Hector, because Hector, he does have like a somewhat suspect chin. People don't want to talk about it, but when he does get hit, his recovery time is not as fast compared to other fighters that Tank has fought. And I think Gervonta, he's gonna he's gonna notice it very quickly. So I don't think Hector would be looking for a big punch to hurt Tank. And I think Tank will try to find anything possible to be successful in what he needs to do to solidify victory. But I think Tank is way too focused. I think Gervonta is at the peak of his prime right now. And especially where he's at right now, he's in a very, very good spot. So yeah, I think Hector, he's in for a lot of trouble if he's not able to figure out the puzzle with Tank. So I got Tank knocking him out late, or Tank winning by a smooth, unanimous decision. Which, it's not going to be a wide open one. I think it'll be 8-4. But if you want to definitely call it a close fight, 7-5. But that's really how I see it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Gervonta Tank Davis will have a very destructive test against Hector Garcia, or do you think this Hector Garcia fight will be tough and Gervonta will still be able to clip him and hurt him? Like, give me your predictions. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Salute to the mighty TWT LDBC, and I'm out. Bye.